That should work, no? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I just realized I'm not even in here. One quick. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Primetime with Philip White, Primetime Podcast, episode number 74, coming off of one of the most incredible games of all time for the NBA. I'm talking bare minimum. This was a top 10 game of all time. Last night we got to witness between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama quite literally turned into an absolute god last night. Dylan Harper played amazing. Alex Caruso came out of nowhere, dropping 31. It was a phenomenal game to watch. We're going to be talking about that today. And then, of course, I will be jumping into the Knicks Cavs, the expectations are for Donovan Mitchell, for Jalen Brunson, for Karl Anthony Towns, for James Harden, and what game one could end up looking like. Because if the Cavs-Knicks series is also just as exciting as the Western Conference Finals game one was last night, then we are in for a very splendid, very fun, very entertaining treat. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's get into the last game. I don't think I'm going to go for as long today because the game is at 7:30. I want to catch as much of it as I can, and I also probably want to order food. I have to get food. Either I'm ordering food or I'm making food, and I got to decide that in the next 30 minutes. So I will figure out what that's going to be and then go from there. But last night, I don't have words. I don't have words for what we witnessed last night. The only words are right there, and those are the only two words you need, was just Victor and Wembanyama. When you're talking about what Victor did that entire series, having a double-double midway through the second quarter, he already had 10 and 10, right? Ending the game with 41, 24, and 3. Coming up with massive, huge blocks. He had a block where he basically just used 3 of his fingers. I'm eating my words. I really thought that the Thunder, and I still think the Thunder will win this series, but based on what Victor was able to do in game one, if he's able to even replicate 75% of that, you're looking at a rough night all series long. You're going to be looking at an incredibly frustrating series for the Thunder. Especially when, you had Wemby playing at an all-time level. You had Dylan Harper with 7 steals, which was absurd. It felt like he was everywhere. What was the stat line? Because now I have to remember what the stat line was, because the stat line was something ridiculous. It was absurd. Dylan Harper had 24, 11, 6, and 7, which, by the way, the last person to do that in a playoff game was Magic Johnson in 1980 to get 20 or more points, 10 or more rebounds, 5 or more assists, and 5 or more steals. To think that Dylan Harper's already so young as he is and is still going to be a massive part of the Spurs moving forward alongside Wemby. And then a Wemby stat line for a debut in a conference finals, the last person to do that was Wilt Chamberlain. So you're talking about, hey, congratulations, modern-day Wilt who can shoot threes, and then modern-day Magic. Not saying that Dylan Harper is Magic Johnson now, but to have that incredible performance in game one against pretty much the best roster in the entire league, it speaks volumes, and it has already put Wembanyama into a best player on the planet, going to be the best player on the planet, an absurd. There's only so much you can say after it. There's only so many synonyms you can come up with for how incredible it is. Watching him, remember who he's playing against, too. It's not like he's playing against nobody. Chet Holmgren was the only other, defensive player nomination who could have come remotely close. Obviously didn't. But another defensive player nominee in Chet Holmgren this year? Yeah, Wemby completely bullied him. Wemby was more physical than him. Chet made, couple nice plays, right? He obviously got the block to send it to overtime. He made a couple of shots. He made not a whole lot of shots, but he did make one big 3, I remember. But if you're going to sit here and talk about Wemby versus Chet, I mean, it looked like a no contest. It looked like a no diff. It looked like Wemby was better, which we already felt that. But Wemby looked way more aggressive and way more active and way more involved. And just completely, it seemed like there was no issue. It seemed like at any point was Wemby remotely going to slow down, being physical in the paint. Obviously, the 35-footer to send it and tie it in overtime is just ridiculous. Like, you can hear it quiet immediately. I couldn't believe he was pulling up from there, and then all of a sudden, just silence in the Thunder room, and that was pretty much the end. Like, that was when it's like, all right, there's no way the Spurs lose this game. And it is absurd to see what Wemby is doing. It's diabolical. And the fact that this is going to be a player who's going to, if presuming he stays healthy, with the fact that he has absurd handles for his size, obviously dominates the paint in pretty much every way, and can also shoot the three. Who's going to stop him? Probably nobody. And it's obviously early. Everyone talking about, he's already this GOAT all-time player. Obviously, he needs to stay healthy for that to be the case. But Wemby's in such an incredible position where not only is he incredibly talented, but he's also on an incredibly young roster that is likely to stay and be this kind of roster that can stay together for a long stretch of time. And there's very few other teams that have the depth as well as the all-star talent to be able to remotely compete with someone like Victor. It's just no one comes close. No one comes close remotely, and there's just nothing else that can be said. I mean, there's obviously a lot that you could try to say, but no one is going to outclass Wembetron right now. Now, granted, we'll get into what happens with the Thunder moving forward, but when you talk about the Spurs depth chart right now, and again, the cherry on top of all this, if you're a Spurs fan, they did this without De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox suddenly, all of a sudden, not playing with a right ankle injury, yeah, it doesn't matter. They still found a way to win. I mean, Devin Vassell also was very solid. Julian Champagnie had a couple of huge threes in this one. But, I mean, with Victor, with Dylan Harper, who's, I mean, if Dylan Harper's going to be his sidekick for the next 10, 12 years, that's going to be a very scary Spurs team, especially if that's far from Harper's peak. With the way he was, I mean, he was a gnat everywhere for OKC. Every time OKC tried to drive to the basket, they had to pass it out to the three arc because they didn't want to try to challenge Victor. And sure enough, who was waiting there but Dylan Harper himself? Not Harper. One of my friends was calling him Dylan Humper the whole time we were playing. The whole time they were playing. But Dylan Harper's is an incredible piece for this team, and I mean, what are you gonna do? Honestly, to see what they were able to do was just ridiculous. Look at this box score, man. Champagnie 11 points, Wemby 41, Vassell 13, Stephon Cal 17, Dylan Harper with 24, 11, 6, and 7. Just an absurd stat line, just based off that alone. And then Keldon Johnson with 13 points off the bench as well. I mean, what are you going to do for that? So, a huge win, a huge start for the Spurs. And I'd also made it very evident that if they were to have a chance in this series, Game 1 kind of felt like a must-win. But, I mean, with the way that they played and the fact that they were able to win it, this is going to be... I hope this goes to 7. I hope this is one of the best playoff series of all time. If it's anything close to what we got in Game 1, it has a chance to go down as potentially the best series we've seen since the Cavs 3-1 comeback against the Golden State Warriors. Like, that's what we're getting set up for. And I am incredibly excited to see all of that explored and brought out into fruition. Because if Wemby plays remotely the same way, it's going to be so much fun. But he absolutely crushed it. The Spurs crushed on defense. Which brings us to how are the Thunder going to how are the Thunder going to get back into this series? And that becomes a little bit of an interesting question because I think they very much will. I mean, a couple things didn't go right. Shea didn't play a very good first half. He was getting double teamed the whole time. Is it an excuse? No. But I don't think he will have such a bad first half going into the other series. I also think, they still had like Jalen Williams as well. Probably was very impressive coming off the hamstring. Not everyone was in sync to him coming back too. Like AJ Mitchell didn't have a good game. It was limited to 4 points. I think at one point he pulled up from 3 immediately, and I think you could argue that cost them the game because he was trying to go for the kill shot, and it just wasn't. It wasn't a good shot selection in that moment. I mean, in hindsight, maybe in the moment you could argue for the shot to be taken, but definitely in hindsight hurt them overall. I think the biggest issue though with this game, Shea needs to get off to a hotter start, and I got to be honest. I love Caruso, and Caruso's amazing. I mean, he can make, if he wins probably 2 more championships, maybe 2 or 3 more championships, you're looking at probably the best role player of all time. But SGA has to just play better. SGA has to step it up, and more specifically, not just SGA, but their other superstar in Chet Holmgren really needs to start stepping up as well. Because the understanding is, if you're Chet and you have this rivalry with Wemby, and it's been advertised. It's not the first time we've heard of this rivalry. This has gone back to even before they were even in the NBA playing against each other. If you're Chet Holmgren, you need to really emphasize that this is a rivalry. Because Wemby seemed to understand, I want to go and beat his ass. I want to go and take down Chet. I want to get in his face the entire game. And he did that. He did that with him. He did that with Shea. He did that with a lot of the Thunder roster. But for Chet to kind of feel almost, not that he was completely statuesque, because obviously he had the block to send it to overtime the first time, but he has to understand that you have to meet Wemby's intensity to have any chance. It's like playing against any great player. If you don't meet their intensity, they're going to roll over you. If you don't match Brunson's intensity, if you don't match Giannis' intensity, if you don't match you don't match LeBron's intensity, you don't match Steph's intensity, you're going to have no chance to be able to play good defense and really win the matchup if you're not showing a little bit of heat and flair and emotion. If Holmgren wants to have a shot to not get embarrassed by Wemby for the rest of the series, he's got to step it up in terms of just being more aggressive, having a little bit of intensity, getting in it with Wemby a little bit. Because you have to have that kind of intensity because it projects that kind of confidence. And for me, there were just moments where it felt like Chet almost felt like there was a point where Chet, in his mind, thought, there's not much I can do. But there's stuff you can do. Like, you're still 7'1". You can still make plays against Wemby. It's not impossible. Wemby's great. No, don't get me wrong. But you still need to actually lock in and get off the Fortnite and actually compete with one of the... I mean, come on. Chet was still a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. He was never going to win it, but he was still up there for being a finalist. You've got to be able to get a little bit of your get back. I don't care who it's against. Whether it's Wemby, whether it's Muggsy Bogues, like you gotta do something. So definitely not very impressive there. I think the Thunder will be overall fine in the series. I think the series will be fairly close. I don't think it's going to be completely out of it's obviously not out of the reach for the Thunder as it is. But for the Thunder to come back, to get back, even up the series in Game 2 tomorrow, they're going to need to do much more than they did in Game 1. They're just going to need to be more physical. They're going to need to get off to a better and clean start. And you know what? Maybe that's just because they haven't played in a while. Maybe that you could chalk it up to some of that. But clearly they were able to play well down the stretch and get back into the game. So I kind of don't, you can't really use that as an excuse. Like, you're a professional athlete. You have to be ready to play a game at any given level, at any given time. And you have to be, even with rest, you have to be able to come back in and play effectively. You're not going to do that. That's how you could easily lose series. And this could be the game. I mean, if this goes to 7 games and they lose, then there's a lot. They'll be looking back at this one saying, maybe that should have been the series that we'd end up winning. I've got, let me go to the chat real quick. Let me talk with you guys. I got Jay, of course, in the chat. Appreciate you pulling out, Jay, as always. Jay's also saying, Humper sounds like a better name, but if his signature is a pump fake, the call would be amazing. The pumper, the jumper, he's the humper! The pump, the jump, the hump! Hump throws it down! the Humper would be like a pretty solid nickname. Like someone named like Thumper or something. Like if somebody has like almost like a Jackrabbit-esque nickname. I would like, because Harper's still good. Like I feel like there's some stuff you can still throw around with Harper as well. But Humper's really good. When we were watching the game, he was like, oh, there goes Humper. But he was absurd. Dylan Harper was everywhere on the court. I mean, and really because De'Aaron Fox was hurt. That's why Harper was playing so much. But for him to be getting that many steals, like it was 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 steals. Like he was doing it all, and he was making life very difficult for the Thunder. And a lot of the times those turnovers just came from when they're driving to the basket, they have to make a decision of, are we going to try to contest Wembanyama, or are we just going to kick it out to the corner? And when they kicked it out, Harper's just right there, either with his hand or his full body just there to get the ball right away. I mean, Wembanyama obviously played great, but Dylan Harper 100% deserves his flowers as well for that game. I mean, good gosh. Good golly, Miss Molly. I mean, I think half the turnovers that the Thunder had were forced by Harper, which is impressive as it is. Jay saying SGA had his magical Jordan's break during the game. Dude, I guess he just put on what was that? Yeah, he went and got the shoes. He put back on the shoes and actually played better. I gotta say though, 4 points in the first half was just not acceptable. I mean, for the MVP of the league, I'm sorry, that's not okay. That's not okay when you win MVP and then you come out and you put up that in the first half, especially with what Victor was doing on the other side. There ain't no shot in the world that we can be honestly looking at Shea and then saying, yeah, guys, I think it was Shea. Caruso and Jalen Williams had better games in game one than Shea did, just objectively. Caruso they were not remotely in that game if Caruso's not playing, and you've also got Jalen Williams, who played very well coming off a hamstring injury. So, in his first action back. Sure, you could say, oh, it throws off the rhythm. Not everyone's in the rhythm. You're the best player in the league. Don't talk to me about rhythm. That's for role guys. You can put that on A.J. Mitchell, say he's not in rhythm. That's fine. You can't tell me your superstar, 2-time MVP player is out of rhythm. Boy, that's Cat. He just was getting double-teamed. He couldn't do anything. It's just what it was. Jay also saying Chet looking like a beach volleyball player against Wemby. He looked outclassed, but I still think he can do stuff. But if he's not going to show up with the energy that Wemby's coming with, he's chop liver. He's just going to get even more exposed. You need to, if you want to defend, there was at a point where they multiple times the Thunder had Caruso actively on Wemby, and I was watching it, and I was like, that's such, to me, that's obvious what they do. They should just oop it to Wemby at that point. Just oop it to Wemby, let him go catch it. He's down there somewhere. It's like screw it. Jamar Chase is down there somewhere. Justin Jefferson is down there somewhere. Wemby's somewhere near the basket. Just oop it up to him. It happened. It happened in double overtime to basically ice the game. Just oop it up to him. He's probably going to come down with it, especially if Caruso's on him. So Chet needs to play much better to make sure that they just don't take advantage of that the entirety of the rest of the series. Chet also, Jay saying Chet looks like the type to watch hentai porn and not be ashamed. In fact, I dare say proud, and shows it to his friends like a normal person does a good meme. Oh my gosh. Chet would do that. If you go to a bar, when people go to, when you go out with maybe your friends, or you go with your friends who's are online a lot, and they show you a video, and you think it's a 10-second quick clip, and then it's a 7-8 minute video while at the bar, and you're like, wrong place, wrong time. If we're chilling at home, having some drinks, sure, you can put it on, we can watch it. But don't pull that out at the bar. Don't pull that out in public. You really shouldn't be pulling that. You really shouldn't be pulling out hentai at any given point. But just don't, not in public, man. I'm not trying to watch, get it away. That's true, though. Chet kind of does give off, of all the centers in the league, I think he gives off major gooning energy. He reminds me of his dad's Cavs run so explosive. Dylan Harper, dude, it It was so fun too. He was always like it was like just right place for him. Like he just felt like he knew. And I think part of it is just because I'm glazing Wemby a lot, but having that kind of player where you kind of know like, yeah, most guys are not going to try that shot. It allows you to be in just better places, and I guess that's kind of true with like playing with a lot of the best players in the league. Like let's say if you have a Giannis on your team, if you have a Jokic, or if you have a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, if you have a Luka or a Brunson or a Mitchell, right? You have all these players that make the game easier, and it felt like Dylan Harper, got to give him his flowers, but of course Wemby makes that playing easier. Harper took advantage in a massive way. I think like a Magic Johnson kind of performance, like just throwing it out. And imagine if De'Aaron Fox played. Is De'Aaron Fox putting up the same numbers? I don't know. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe we could see De'Aaron Fox moved if Harper's already good enough now. So that could be interesting. Interesting in the offseason. I don't think it happens, but just because I don't know if Harper's going to keep playing at that level. But if he does, all of a sudden De'Aaron Fox's role with the Spurs gets questioned just a teeny tiny bit. We got Mike in the chat. We got Mike. Mike, how we doing, man? I don't think I've seen you around. Welcome into Primetime podcast. They're saying if Spurs can do this with their core at ages 22, 21, and 20, rest of the league should pack it up and switch to hockey. They may have to, you know what? Pack it up and go over to the WNBA. Pack it up and go to Wimbledon. Send Braun to Wimbledon. Send everybody there. That's what I was thinking too. Like I as a Mike, I'm a Suns fan. So watching like Wemby and watching also the Thunder to an extent too, but watching this team be this good this young, and I'm sitting here like, dang, we traded for KD and got like the worst version of him. Dang, we traded for Bradley Beal. Like it's so painful knowing that like this, like seeing other teams' futures, especially like the Spurs, and seeing how good they are, and then thinking to myself, man, Mon Malawak better be good. Like, you know, like I'm like begging and praying that our young players play and do well, but it's so like when someone else has like a unicorn, the envy is just absurd. Oh, it just an absurd unicorn of a player that I just wish we had, but we may never have. But I think the closest we've ever gotten to like the best player we've ever had is like Nash and Chuck. And Chuck, and neither of them won anything. Well, MVPs, but I mean not championships, which is one of these days, you know, one of these days we'll break through. One of these days. Mike also saying his dad was more straight line explosive, if I remember correctly. Dylan is more shifty. I don't really like. Wait, I'm gonna look up Harper's dad because I'm much more versed in like NFL knowledge. I'm trying to remember who his dad was, but I'll just look it up real quick. Yeah, Ron Harper. Oh my gosh, Ron Harper. Yeah, Ron Harper. Yeah, for the Cavs, Clippers. Oh, I thought he was still coaching the Pistons. No, he was an assistant for the Pistons for 3 years. How about that? Things you never know. 5-time NBA champion. Man, that's also kind of crazy how many like I always think like winning like 5 championships, especially because you know at like a Super Bowl level, it's kind of hard. But like there are like a lot of players that have like 4 or 5 championships that are like, yo, that's kind of nuts. How'd you do that? How'd you do that, man? How'd you got 5 chips, 96 and 98? That was probably 1996, 1997, 1998 with the Bulls, and then in 2 with the Lakers. How about that? Look at little Ron Harper. He's got a full hand. Got a full hand of championship rings. You know, Ron, you should send me one. You should send me one just to have. I'll take your second Bulls ring. I'll take the 97 Bulls ring. Please. Thank you. Send it over to me. Brainy from Hey Arnold. Brainy from Hey Arnold is also here. Saying, where were you today? I was waiting with Harold on the playground. If you didn't want to fight, we could have done the Spider-Man meme at least. Brainy, I had to work, man. I work for a living. I can't be going out to the playground and getting in fights with cartoon characters. It's just not... It's not my thing, dude. I'd love to go out and leave my job at 3 o'clock to go fight a cartoon character, but I gotta pay the bills, man. I gotta make a little bit of money. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I gotta pay the bills, and fighting Brainy from Hey Arnold is not gonna do it. But I am sorry that I wasn't able to come and at least do the Spider-Man meme. But I'll find a way to recreate it. I'll get like a PNG of you, Brainy, and I'll recreate it just for you. And then saying the Suns G's feel bad for you. That's like having to listen to Arnold's grandpa tell a long story. Dude, I have to watch Hey Arnold. I've seen what it is. Like, I've seen the characters, so I can recognize like a couple of them. But I never watched the show. It was kind of like a late 90s thing. I was born like the early 2000s, so it wasn't really like like for my cartoon shows, I was like a massive Total Drama kid. I was like, also, here's the thing. Like, a lot of like the 2000s Cartoon Network stuff was really huge. Although I will say, for like older cartoons, Courage Cowardly Dog, I like had a love-hate relationship with, because sometimes I'd enjoy it, but then I was like, what is this? And it would be like, I think it was the one episode, I don't know if anyone remembers this from Courage the Cowardly Dog. There's one episode where Eustace just gets like a foot infection, and it's a nasty purple foot that he has, and it's just stomping around everywhere. And it genuinely, like, it's giving me like goosebumps now talking about it, because it was like good animation, but it was just so disturbing to know like his foot was just purple and like had green spores growing out of it. Like, I imagined that's what athlete's foot was. Like, for the longest time, I thought athlete's foot was your foot is straight up, like, no circulation to it at all, and it just looks like it's got the color of a boulder. And it was, I can't even, like, I can feel my skin getting all, like, tingly, and I don't like it. It very much upset me. But yeah, it was like Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then Ed, Edd n Eddy were like the other two, like, kind of what I guess for me older, because I'm in like my 20s, so that was like just ending as I was starting to get into cartoons. I think they had probably ended those series right around then. But you'd still get the old episodes coming up on like it was, I think Sundays would be like the throwback cartoon days, and that was like obviously the most time I probably had to watch cartoons. That's what I was doing, watching those. But oh my gosh, that foot's now stuck in my head, dude. Brainy saying Ron Harper on the Cavs was explosive before the knee injury forced him to switch up. He was like Arnold on the baseball field. Dude, we gotta get Arnold. Dude, where's Arnold, man? Where is he? Is he gonna show up on? Is he gonna show up on the baseball? That'd be actually, you know what? I'd be excited to see what Arnold could do on a baseball field. If he's batting against Shohei, I want to see what he ends up doing, dude. I want to see what happens. Mike also saying Nash and Amir teams are the best offense I've ever seen. Too bad they ran into some juggernauts in the West back then. Yeah, they really did. I got to say, for me, I wasn't super into basketball at around that time. I got into it probably around like the 2014 roughly. And like even then I was still mostly casual compared to what I am now. But I remember like my big getting into like being with like Phoenix in 2014 was like around like a year before they drafted Book. And man, that run, I've talked about this run a lot on this channel, but that run to the finals with Chris Paul and DeAndre and Devin Booker and freaking Jay Crowder was on that roster, Mikal Bridges, like that run to me was so fun. To be honest, I remember that run. We beat the Lakers, we swept Denver, and then we played the Clippers without Kawhi. So it was a little bit like, you know, should they actually be there? Should they not? But we pulled the Bucks, and I was like, we were up 2, and there was something there, and then and then everything went downhill, right? We get Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead to 42, and we were never the same team after that, and it hurt me. It still haunts me to this day. But you know what? I got to get over it, and I'll find a way to. And then Brainy saying Total Drama had dinner with Owen once. He's nice, bad to stop at the drive-thru after he ate everything at the table. I'm going to be real. Owen from Total Drama could probably be one of the best like defensive tackles in the NFL. Because you have to understand, okay, I remember watching that show. The finale of that show, Owen is like, he has to race, he's racing against Gwen to win the whole thing, right? He smells like a steaming hot tray of brownies. And this guy books it. He is sprinting to them brownies. Like, he is going all for it. If you put like a perfume, like a fragrance, like a scent on the quarterback, and it's just desserts, nobody's blocking him. Not Yonda, not probably best center in the league right now, Linderbaum, not Ryan Khalil, not Dermontti Dawson, nobody. Not a single guard center is going to block Owen from total drama. It's just not going to happen. Ain't going to happen, man. He could even be a halfback if you wanted to with how fast he is. As long as you just color the end zone like a pizza or something. For the Thunder to fight back, let me get back on track. For the Thunder to fight back, they need more intensity from their superstars. They just need more intensity from Shea and specifically from Chet if they want to have a chance. If they don't want to go down 2-0 at home, which will be very bad, because if they go down 2-0 at home, I don't know how they're going to go into San Antonio and pull out 2 games. I just don't. It would be so hard. It would be next to impossible. It would just be brutal. If they're unable to increase the intensity, ain't no way they go into San Antonio and win 2 games. It's just not going to happen. They need to win. They need to win game 2. Or I think the series could very quickly get away from them. I guess it depends on how Wemby plays, but if Wemby is anything like he was in game 1, OKC should be terrified. But now I get to talk about the game that is happening tonight. I think it's about to tip off. I think I'm just about to get a notification on my phone that it is about to tip off. Unless I am wrong. I thought for sure it was tipping off at 7:30. Maybe I read that wrong. Was it not? Is Knicks Cavs not tipping off at 7:30 Eastern? It is 8. Why did I think 7:30? I don't know. I thought I read 7:30. Regardless, tonight, Cavs, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the New York Knicks. I hope that this series is as entertaining as the one in the West as we anticipate to be. It's going to be hard to see it that way just because of how well the Knicks are playing and how short rest the Cavs have. Like, Cavs just finished up their series against the Pistons 2 days ago, and now they're going on the road to play New York in the Garden. It's gonna be an entertaining one. I'm very excited for it. I think this series, especially for New York, obviously it's the toughest opponent they've faced. But I think the major difference is the ability in center play. I think the difference in, and not that Jared Allen's like this great center, but I think he is certainly underrated. I mean, he's come up big in the huge Game 7s to beat the Magic, and then he came up huge again against the Detroit Pistons and just straight up looked way better than Jalen Duren. So now he's gonna have his toughest matchup, of course, going up against Cat and Mitchell Robinson. But now they're gonna have to increase the way they're playing, just with the way they're playing point Cat at this point. They're playing a sort of like running the majority of their offense through Cat. It's going to be very interesting to see where all that goes and how that continues to transpire. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for... I'll say this right now. I think the best matchup... What was so interesting... Also, okay. I don't know how many of you guys know Brian Windhorst. He's a sports commentator. He said... Let me pull this up. This was texted to one of our group chats earlier today, and I just wanna read it off. It says, Dean Wade at 6'10" is the type of defender you put on Jalen Brunson because the length can sometimes bother him. Maybe that's true. That certainly is a sentence. But Brunson's incredible. Like, Dean Wade is not exactly the premier defender that Brian Windhorst thinks he is. Like, I'm not saying he's like a joke, but you really gonna sit here and tell me that we're gonna be like, all right, Dean Wade, go cover Jalen Brunson? No, that's gonna work. I think it's gonna be very difficult. I think he will get exposed if you just try to ISO Brunson on Dean Wade. But that's just me. Maybe Dean Wade has a historic defensive performance. But I think another question that I've also thought about is, with the Thunder, with their long kind of absence away from playing, do the Knicks kind of feel a little bit of that, like, oh, they haven't played at full speed on the court. They haven't been back in like the intensity of the series, as opposed to, say, where they have had, obviously they were playing, their series, but now playing back at the facility, how different is that versus playing on the court in the Garden with the Cavs coming in? I think Cleveland 100% needs to. They need to be physical. They need to be, based on the fact that they have now a center matchup that is actually like something, as opposed to Joel Embiid on crutches and what was it, Tony Bradley or Okonkwo. I don't think it's nearly at the same level for the Hawks and the 76ers as it is for the Cavs. Like, they actually have some big lineups that's going to put some challenges on some of their shooters as well. That I think is something that's going to potentially happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing where all that transpires and where that goes. Really, I think there's a lot of potential there for. I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of things to happen. Right now, I have the Knicks winning Game 1 for a couple reasons. Number one, OG Anunoby's going to be back, and I think unlike most players, I think OG doesn't really conflict with with necessarily the role players getting out of rhythm, because the Knicks have enough of them where even if like one or two of them is thrown off, I don't think it's a huge deal. Like, they still have guys like Jordan Clarkson and Jose Alvarado who aren't necessarily high volume scorers. The only real one that would be a traditional high volume scorer on occasion would be like Deuce. And I just don't think, I'm not saying that Deuce can't come out and drop another like flurry of threes. But I just, again, it's a little unrealistic to expect him to do that. But at the same time, I don't think he's going to be completely thrown off his rhythm and drop just, Deuce. I think he'll play fine. I think OG, presuming OG does play, now obviously there's still 30 minutes to go, he should be good to go. I know last time I checked, it was probable. And it is, it's still listed as probable. He had fully participated in team practices following that right hamstring injury. It doesn't look like there is anything saying that he's not going to play. So he might play in like limited minutes, but I still think even if he does, it's not going to disrupt the Knicks' flow particularly heavily. So I do think the Knicks will find a way to take it in Game 1. I think it's going to be like probably like 108 to 102 type of a game. That's what I'm hoping for. Something close, but then I think the Knicks will ultimately pull away and find a way to get the win there. But let me know what you guys think. I don't know. But let me know who you guys have for Game 1 and for the series, I guess. Let me know what we're all thinking right now. Let me get into the comments while y'all are doing that. I see just a regular Rigby has made in. Thank you for pulling up, Mr. Regular Rigby. That Chet guy reminds me of this bully named Jablonski who would pick on me in high school. Chet definitely bullied people in high school. Like, it's not even. Everything about his demeanor just tells me, oh yeah, he put a couple kids in lockers. He gave wedgies to kids. It's just, you know what? And you know what? There are high school bullies, but I just know Chet was one. I just can tell. He reeks of it. It's so clear and obvious. But yeah, you're 100% right, Rigby. He definitely gives bully energy. Mike says the Thunder need to hit most of their threes in 4 out of the next 6 games. No team can score within 15 feet of the basket when Wemby plays 40 minutes a game. Math is not in their favor. No, 100%. I mean, even in Game 1, what was it? It was the one where Wemby gets the board and then Shea basically like grabs him and Wemby's just cackling. Wemby's cackling because if you watch that shot, Shea is pulling up, and Wemby looks like he's going to go block it, and then just doesn't, and just stands there and watches Shea's shot come up short. Like, the entirety of just Wemby being there, everybody has to change their arc because he can block it if you shoot it normally. If you shoot it normally, there's a good chance he's going to get some sort of tip or some sort of block, and it's wild that's... It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that that's just how it is every single time. That Wemby just does that. Does that on a consistent basis. Makes it so much more difficult. Even when he doesn't actively look to block the shot, everybody has to adjust their shot anyway because he just puts his hand up and just blocks it and gets it out. It's crazy. It's unreal. It's ridiculous. Rigby said the background reminds me of the last time Benson trusted me with the grill at the park. Well, he did trust you, man. You know, do you remember, right? Benson bought those weird hot dogs. It was Benson who bought the weird hot dogs. It wasn't Rigby. You know, you did a great job. You know, you're it's not your fault. Benson's the one who bought the crazy psycho hot dogs. Come on, you're good. It was not your fault, man. Mike's also saying Eastern Conference Finals, both teams employ double big lineups. The 90s are back. Dude, it's crazy, I would say, how the center position, I think in general, because for a while I remember towards the end of the 2010s, it felt like the center position was not nearly as important, and then we got you got obviously Jokic, we got not a center, but still a big in the form of Giannis, we had Embiid, and now the Final Four, I mean, you've got Wemby, who's just, I mean, quite literally an alien. You've got Chet, who's still a big. You've got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and then you've got Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns. You've got so many. There's so much size. There's so much size in the Final Four. Maybe that's a trend. Maybe it shows you need to have some sort of size now. Maybe it's gearing towards the March Madness approach, where it's hey, you need to be big. You can't. Well, I guess in Brunson's case he's small, but I mean he's still incredibly dynamic, and they have enough size everywhere else where it's you can get away with one small guy. Rigby saying, "Oh, Brian and his takes are like Muscle Man's diet bad." Hey man, Rigby, you can't be saying all that about Muscle Man. Muscle Man's a tough son of a gun. I mean, you see how when he was in you remember when he was flexing his pecs, dude? He was flexing his pecs for forever, man. It burned a guy's face. Could you imagine if you could flex your muscles so hard that if somebody touched them, they got third-degree burns? That's terrifying. That's terrifying how pretty much everybody in that show had some sort of absurd superpower every other episode. Just because they did something that, most people would not really do. Most people would not go to a roller rink and take their shirt off and just flex their pecs the whole time because they think they're balding. No one would really do that, but if someone did and it turns out all of a sudden your pecs just couldn't stop, just flexing up and down, and you could just burn someone's face, how amazing. How amazing would that be? That would be incredible. That would be awesome. I also see, the Knicks will take it in game one. Jared Allen is Diddy and the Knicks are Cassie. Whoa! Wow! Calling Jared Allen Diddy is certainly a statement, Rigby. The fact that I could hear, Rigby's voice saying it's yeah, the Knicks will take it in game one. Jared Allen is Diddy and the Knicks are Cassie. Whoa! Oh my gosh. I'm just hearing Mordecai going, no, dude, the Cavs are going to take it all this year. Oh my God, Mordecai would be. Wonder what team Mordecai's a fan of. Mordecai feels like a Warriors fan, honestly. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what fan Mordecai would be a fan of. Let me know. Let me know, Rigby, who Mordecai roots for. Mike says, legend has it Chet dissed Wemby in front of his parents after winning that U18 tournament. That's the reason Wemby hates the guy. I thought it was just because Chet won most of those games. But why would really, Chet dissed Wemby in front of his, dude, in U8, I mean, okay, fair, U18, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of, 16, 17-year-olds doing that all the time. I mean, fair, I'm fine with Wemby doing that, but if you're Chet and you're just going to be and just sit around and mope because you're getting out hustled. I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. You are still an all-star. You should still be able to play well against Wemby, even though Wemby is good. You are a professional basketball player. Do your job. Please. Do your job. Come on, you get paid so much more than me. You get paid so much more. You know so much more about the game than me. Like, come on, let's get it done. Benson was the one who. I'm covering for you, Rigby. Jay's trying to throw you under the bus. Benson better not be watching, or he's gonna find out. Like, he's gonna find out, and you're gonna be fired. I'm trying to cover for you, man. Like, don't let Jay expose you, man. Jay's saying, love that we talk sports and cartoons. Need to have a tier list on the refill with just regular show episodes. Honestly, that would make for a great episode on like kind of like a down week. I gotta put that in. Stow that in the bank for all. I wonder let me see if there's a tier list that exists. I won't do it right now, but I want to see if there's a tier list maker that exists for regular show episodes. Oh, okay, there is. Is it the full list? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is a giant list. They have one for all of the episodes. That's sick. Oh man, that is awesome. Yeah, I definitely got to do a full tier list of all the episodes. I might have to do like a rewatch just to make sure that I can get all the regular show episodes like back freshly in my mind. I feel like that's the best way to do it. But yeah, that's a Jay. I gotta do that. Full tier list of regular show episodes. Rigby saying he's a Clippers fan, a Cardinals fan, and a Blue Jays fan. Oh, I see. I get it. But you're not a fan of the Hawks, Mordecai. That's interesting. He's a Cardinals fan, a Blue Jays fan when it comes to. He's a Clippers fan. Oh my gosh, he loves Kawhi. He loves Kawhi Leonard so much. I slipped into my Trump impression for a second. I had to reel back. Oh my gosh. Why would he not be a Hawks fan? What would he be? Is he also a? So wait, what is his hockey affiliation? Is he like? Is he a Vegas? What would his hockey affiliation be? I don't know. I feel like he'd be like no, he wouldn't be a Sabres fan. There's no way. No way Mordecai's a Sabres fan. He's a slacker. The Clippers are a slacker organization. I guess that's fair. Well, then, Rigby, are you also a Clippers fan? I mean, that would be DC to be obvious. Mike was saying it was weird seeing every Thunder player hyped after Chet's block on Wemby, except Chet. It was like he was thinking, guys, please don't piss him off more. Guys, stop it. He's already mad. Yeah, also Caruso, like, pushing the camera away. Like, what? I didn't get that. I get maybe not wanting to be in the huddle. I guess, like, you don't want, like, the camera in the huddle, but it's just so... It was just very bizarre. I was not expecting Caruso to just full face palm the camera. I was not expecting him at all to just do that. I was like, man, dude, he really doesn't want the camera. Okay, fair enough, I guess. The Ducks, the mighty Ducks. Or I guess Anaheim. He could be the Anaheim Ducks. He's saying also, oh yeah, Darius Miles was my guy. His movie should have won an Academy Award. 100%. I agree with that. I could say Darius Miles should have gotten an Academy Award. Rigby, if that's your guy, Darius Miles should have gotten it. Should have gotten the Academy Award. Regardless, tonight I'm rolling Knicks tonight. I think the Knicks will go and win game 1. And I think it'll be a very contested, close game. I think we'll still see Donovan Mitchell playoff rise. I think James Harden's still going to struggle because he kind of struggled game 7. I don't think he's going to step it up in this game. I don't think he's going to find a way to step it up in game 1 here. I think he's going to kind of carry some of those woes from game 7 into game 1. I think he'll play well defensively, but I think offensively he's still gonna struggle early. That's my guess. I'm not sure. That's just my predictions. But in the meantime, we're at 48 minutes, almost 49. It's almost 7:50. I want to get ready for the game. I think I'm gonna order a pizza. I think I'm gonna order pizza and knots. I could go for some pizza and garlic knots. That's what I'm feeling right now. I know it's like surprisingly hot. It's like 90s, but I'm still gonna get myself a nice za with some garlic knots. But I just saw Rigby say, James Harden reminds me of Starla. He's just there. He just shows up sometimes. James Harden, you know what? I'm going to say it. James Harden is kind of like, no, I was going to say Margaret, but that's disrespectful to James Harden. I think James Harden's kind of like, James Harden's like High Five Ghost. Like, he's kind of cool, but he's not really, like, super relevant at this point. right? Like, I think nobody hates, like, no, that's not true. People don't like James Harden because he flops sometimes. Who's, like, a regular show character that people have, like, a massive love-hate relationship with? I feel like that would make the most sense. I feel like that's kind of where Harden would fit in terms of regular show character. That's my 2 cents. There's got to be somebody. Maybe he's Death. Maybe he's Death in the show. When there's, like, Death in a regular show, that's James Harden. Because Death at one point had, like aura, especially when Harden had his MVP run. But now, like, Death, like, has a, like, now you find out Death has, like, a wife and kids, and he's got this weird kid that he doesn't know is, like, 300 years old. It's like, come on, dude. You gotta, like, I feel like that's the most accurate. Don? No, people love Don. Everybody loves Don. He's always giving sugar. Come on, it can't be your brother, Rigby. It can't be Don. James Harden's not Don. He's also not nearly tall enough to be Don. Don's Wemby. Dom and Wemby, same guy. I'm in chat and I see Dr. Abortion. Thank you for pulling out Dr. Abortion. PhD, Mr. Dr. Abortion. If Wemby was able to put up the same stats as Jokic this season, no doubt Wemby wins unanimously MVP and everyone knows it. He's probably going to get it next year as long as he stays healthy. Speaking of staying healthy, though, I feel like at a certain point, we got to start talking about, like, the awards and, like, what's the issue with, like, we can't have this weird injury clause. Like, that's got to go away. That didn't work. It's not going to work. It makes every award feel weird and just cringe. I don't like it. Get rid of the injury clause stuff. Just get the MVP to the best player. It's Wemby. I think especially in this series, we're going to see how valuable he is as well. Rigby saying James Harden is not. And then Dr. Abortion saying Harden is the deep in the boys. Oh my gosh. I mean, I do. You know what's so crazy? The deep is like, I've watched the show. Like, the finale's tomorrow. The Deep is such a character in the sense where he is like such a canonical piece of shit. And yet there is still like, guys, the Deep, but he's like so funny. It's like so pathetic that it's funny. Like, it's so insane to me. Like, he is such a hateable character, and yet it is somehow so hilariously pathetic every single time. It's, oh my gosh. That should be another video tier list I should do. Comparing sport athletes to characters in The Boys. I'll do that I'll have to do that at some point. I'll have to do like maybe I'll throw in like weekend episodes, and weekend episodes are just tier lists. That'd actually be really fun. I might do that. Like maybe do like if I have time for a tier list episode one day, I'll just have it all set. Just Rigby saying Dr. Abortion, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Brooklyn Nets burner account. Dude, come on. That's crazy. The Nets entire organization is a burner. Like the entire franchise is the burner account. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow, what a stream! What a little preview for game 1 of Knicks Cavs. I'm excited for it. I can't be here much longer though. We're at 53 minutes. I gotta go order pizza and nuts. I appreciate you all for watching, for commenting, for taking some of your time to watch today's stream. If you enjoyed it, like it, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. Consider subscribing to Primetime with Philip White. I try to be here every Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I've been trying to incorporate more stuff, so definitely going to be a fun rest of May. Tonight's going to be a great game. Hope you all enjoy it. I'm going to go order some za and some knots from pretty much only myself and eat the whole thing because I ate nothing all day. So I'm going to be watching that as well as I'm going to be watching my pizza. I'm going to be watching the Knicks and the Cavs. I hope to see you guys Thursday is when I'll be next streaming. So I will hope to see some of you guys then. And until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys next time. Later. And thank you for watching Primetime Podcast with Philip White. See you guys later. Peace.